So let's continue with some masking excitement in Photoshop now. So I'm not going to use this graphic because I want to do some other cool graphics. And my wonderful wife Lola has this idea to do some cool stuff behind all the images at once so they flow over all the devices. So first things first, let's paste in a linked image. That way it's located in one spot. You can use it for other projects. You don't have to be like, oh, but if I edit it, it won't be updated when I reopen that file. So we're going to drop in this Adobe stock photo I purchased with our licenses, because we get 10 a month. And so I have that there. Now here's the issue. If I were to just duplicate this and use it 3 times and mask different things, which is what I'm going to do, and then I duplicate this and make module 2's mockup. The issue is if when I go, hey, let's relink to a new file, watch what happens. Let's just grab a random other file. Sure, could do the philodendron. It'll change on all of them. And you're like, that's not philodendron, because I guess my computer's slow. And voila, that's a real pain in the butt. Apothos, Lola reminded me. So that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to delete that artboard because we're not ready to jump into artboard land just yet. But what we are going to do is delete these ones. And this is where I like to, because they don't have Adobe, if you're watching this, please get a relink to file where you can relink to like a new file copy, kind of like your smart object copy that you have which I'm about to show, because it's annoying. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do right click and we're going to convert to a smart object. Now it's a smart object. So when we jump into there, not to do the layer style, I have to click on the icon. Now this is a linked file still. So we still have the benefit of the linked file. Close that. Now we're here, and this is where we're going to duplicate this, because now what I want to do is I want to, we're going to Apple Shift G that. So the iPad is going to get its own color. I'm going to make the MacBooky red and the iMac-y green. Let's make it blue. That way they all stand out a little bit different. Now let's go back to green. I like the green better. And we're going to drop these behind each of them. Now I'm going to keep them all the same size. So let's do this. Let's link them all. That way, in case I want to shrink them, it gives us our overlay. And we could unlink them and tweak it a little bit so one can look a little more popped forward, which I might do. But for right now, let's just do that. And let's start with the iPad since it's the topmost one. Now I'm just going to do a rough normal mask. I'm not going to try to get fancy with vector masks. I'm not too worried. I have enough play in that overlap of the iPad. Obviously don't want to apply the mask there, and then we just keep going through until we're done and to our backmost object, what is also known as the background object. And so we throw a mask on that, then we throw a mask on, obviously I'm not on that layer yet, but I can still draw the marquee, toss that, doohickey, and look at that sweetness. Wow. Now you could either leave it like that if you wanted to, or you could unlink them all, because if they're linked, they're gonna all text transform. I could have selected them all and then clicked it once, but I didn't like to do that. So since we have stuff in the foreground, let's first take actually the background one, delink it from your mask because you don't want to screw your mask up. And we're gonna pull it down a little bit. We're gonna move it up a little bit so it's a little off maybe. I don't know if I really like that too much, but you can just play around with it. Like you can come over to the iPad one and maybe pump it up a little bit more so it kind of does its thing. You know, it's not a perfect seamless, so it does a little bit more of a zh. Now is when I would group these, and then I would make this more formal. I'd say this is an iPad, and then I would say that this is my MacBook, so that Cupertino doesn't get too annoyed with my rebellion. Don't worry, I've been a Mac person since '99. I love y'all. Orange, sure, let's make it orange now, because it's going to change everything inside of it anyway. Whatever. Look at that, always does that. Changes everything inside the group too. So we have everything there. Let's open them so we can just see what's going on now. And what's the next step that I want to do? Potentially, now that I have a group, I could, I don't really need to because it's already gonna be a complex enough PNG as I've got it. So that works for me. What I'll probably do, I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna do the titles on it. Unless I do this, because it's the empath's nervous system is really what I want. And so my wife was saying she wanted it to be our font. So this is gonna be module 1. Boom. Let's make that. Boom. Drip it like it's hot. I know what. I can put this over here and do it like that. And now let's make you. Why are my properties? Oh, because that's all way up. Wah, wah, wah. Module 1. And then we're going to copy that. And I mean, that's really on the iMac, so let's just put one of them. Let's put you there, because obviously you want to go there. And now we say the empath's nervous system. So now we're going to shrink that and do this one up. And then we're going to go to our other Quentin regular. And now we can, let's just put you at auto. And then now we'll go into paragraph, and I always love this. Just reset paragraph, please. Thank you. I don't like how that sometimes does that. And we can also reset you. I'm just gonna reset character because yeah, basic. It's not really a true use of you basic, but you're more annoying. I don't know if I like. It's a lot of scripts. It doesn't feel good. I don't like the module. It feels a little too like murder. Grab this one, make it white. Nah, I don't like that. It's hard to read. It's gonna be really hard to read. So that's currently kind of what I got. I'm not feeling those font choices. Just too much script together, and that's just doesn't. I don't like it. If anything, I would put one in the iPad, potentially, if I were to do that.
I mean, what if you were to do the emerald?
My creative director is here.
Like broken up page image.
Emerald
thing.
broken up page image thing?
Like the streak that has the monstera in the background. And then you have your script front, your
Yeah, the
rocked, kind of like the challenge styling.
words are failing our family right now. So I'm thinking that if I do a shape, I kind of like what we're already doing for the archive page, where you kind of do this and then this and asterisk. So now I would do
Module 1.
There we go, and then make this our could be potentially that, and then I would just make it all caps. I kind of like that. It feels a little bit better. I don't know if I'd need module 1 again, or even module 1 at all up there. So while she thinks about that, I'm just gonna align that to that. Now it won't, there we go. That actually aligned pretty well. So those two are gonna be a group. So that's the module title. Well, I like the one on the iPad. It kind of stands out and calls it out a little bit more. And then another thing we could do, which would be fun, is actually now take this and make this a group. So we're gonna group you. Here are the title and background. And then we're gonna slap on that mask, and we're gonna delete that layer mask, and this is gonna be the title. See, actually, we don't even need this to be a group anymore. Let's ungroup you. Let's make the rectangle. Hold down shift. Shift. I like that. And then we get a, so maybe if I said week 1, module 1, or do we want module because they're like coming back to it? Or? What is it that we're trying to say?
It's module 1 versus week 1.
Yeah. I know what. Maybe. Ooh, I'm digging this idea. So, I've got an idea. Check this out. This is gonna be a little cuckoo, but let's find out how this is gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up our nervous system graphic. Let's do a new, double click it, do a new artboard for layers. And we're gonna set this at my normal kind of like 1900 big boy. Let's do 1200 tall. And this is gonna be Empathology, module 1, BG. Great. I like that. And this time I'm gonna shrinkle dinkle it because we kind of want to see all of it. And now that's pretty fun, but let's simplify it. Let's put on a gradient, and we're gonna do one of my main gradients like that. And I want a bit more of an angle. Thank you very much. Now we're gonna just kind of float through. Ooh, I like that. That multiply down, and then we're gonna paste it back in because we just started with the nervous system graphic, right? So currently we're theoretically haven't saved it as a new file, as a Photoshop document. So it's gonna sit there as raw pixels, and I don't want raw pixels. I want, yet again, just referencing one file in all my files. So I place it, because it cannot be placed in itself as links. Ha ha ha, let's do that again just so you can see what that menu issue was. So it's basically saying because we haven't saved it as a Photoshop document, we have to do that first. So let's save it as a Photoshop document. I'm gonna go into my Empathology modules, module 1 nervous system, graphics. This is gonna be, it's really like a top level graphics. Cause I don't wanna save it in multiple ones. I like saving it in things. So this is gonna be backgrounds, modules. I'm gonna say backgrounds, modules. Or I could just say backgrounds. Let's just say backgrounds. Backgrounds, there we go. So this is gonna be modules, backgrounds, and pathology V1. Boom, save it. So we save it there. Now we can paste in the link. Let's go find it. Oh, come on. There you go. There we go. Now we're gonna have to resize it because it fits it within the thing, but that's fine. So that's there. Now I can delete the old one because we don't want those pixels. And now the reason why I was doing all of that is so I could do filter, blur, do a Gaussian blur. The reason why I kind of do this is because I want more of the focus on the content up front. And let's, since it's a pretty detailed image, so we do that and say okay. Now we're gonna export this as a JPEG, and I'm gonna crunch it in image Optim. So export it saying 283 So I jump to, oh, come on, give me my backgrounds. Really? Okay, you're being lame. Let's go to Empathology. Let's go to the backgrounds. Graphics, backgrounds. So now we're gonna do web, ready, and I'll say okay. And this Empathology manual background sounds great. And I'll say -1 in case I want to make multiple versions. I like doing a new one since WordPress likes to cache it and then I can't tell what the update was and everything else. So image Optim is the app we want to use. Now we're going to add the file. This time I should be able to jump to our latest, which we can. And now it's down to 56 KB. So now we got to come in here and I'm going to enable Visual Builder. I want to see how this is going to work. So check this out. Let's just grab this section, background. We're going to put in this image and I'm going to upload the file, select the file, go to the last spot I was in using default folder X, which is amazing. Would love it if Apple would just buy them and build it into their Finder, because it's annoying that it has to be something separate that you have to pay for. And waiting and waiting and waiting. I'll pause it for you. Way longer than it needed to take. So we're gonna do that. Let's do a parallax effect. Let's do it. So now we're gonna click this, and oh, that's fun. Look at this. Look at this, babe. I mean, they're all loading, but yeah. So these are all loading. So I'm just gonna say save. Well, obviously I have to make this. This is all Divi, which is amazing. Check out the description. I've got my affiliate link below. You know you want to support me that way. I mean, you can always ring my bell. That's cool. And go text. And then we're gonna go into light time. And we check it. And I'm gonna just get rid of the signature things. I really don't like it. And there it goes. Great. And now we get to click this, and I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna add an image. And we're going to the image. And then I'm gonna click an image, and I already loaded all of Lola's signatures, and there it is. Insert an image. Check, check. Okay, question is, what is up with this thing? Why is it? Okay, that's why. Boom. Checky, checky. Now this we're going to design. We're going to do a sizing, a max width of, nope, we're going to max width 200 pixels. That should shrink it down. Do 122. Keep it sacred. So we got that. I dig it. I dig it. Only question is these are all in the same module. Let's do that. Let's I'm gonna do margin bottom. It's gonna be 20 pixels, say 40 pixels. Cool. And now what I'm also gonna do is go and make this a admin label, and it's gonna be Lola Sig MP module sidebar. White, because I want that, and that's fine. So we're gonna copy all that, check, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna save it, and it's gonna be sig signature Lola XL Lola Quentin White 120 pix max. Just like knowing what it is, make it global. And this is going to be, doesn't really matter if it's in pathology actually in some ways. Graphics, And then I'm also gonna add a new category of signatures. Save that to the library. It will turn green if everything's working fine, which we will find out. So module 1, your nervous system, cool. Okay, and then watch entire video to complete. So that graphic, those are all hidden, so we're actually not even using those, so I don't need to worry about that right now. This thing, could make them all dark ones. Let's do it. Let's do design, text, make it all white. Boom. Light. Great. Okay. I'll save it. Because then we get to see what this looks like once that's done saving. Which usually takes a while. Then we can exit the visual builder and then take a peek at it. I'll pop. There you go. There you go, babe. Right? Pretty fun. So now what I can do. Oh, I'm gonna wiggle your bottom all right. This is a kid-friendly show. Just kidding, it is not at all. And I think we need more gin and tonics in here. Definitely not a kid-friendly show. Nope, I bought a new bottle of it. You know what's really fun is when you're playing with websites and you get a white screen like this, it makes you feel really happy about life. I'm like, boy, this is why you hire out for people who fuss with websites and you just design Photoshop files. But then you don't spend all this time sitting at a computer and hurting your back. Oh, it's so fun. Tech with Tigre. Much love. So as I sit here and wait for this thing to load, I will pause you again and go get a gin and tonic. I make a gin and tonic and this is what I get. Silly white screen of death. All right, so I'm gonna go in the back end and try to do this. So I'm gonna go edit page, see if it wants to be a lamer in the background. The joys of working on a live site. So, what were we doing? Wife wanted a section to change, and I'm not sure which
Look at that.
thing has the section. That's dope. Nice. Great work, wife. What are you doing for your wavy babies? Like your height? 100. You're leaving at 100? But then do you change it for... Oh, well, yeah. Should definitely, at least for this one, because I know that when we don't have it at 100 for that, it looks really horrible. So you might as well just save me some time if you're ever in it to click those extra couple little dots. Okay, so now let's just preview what that looks like. Sweet, there it is. Okay, but I really don't need that other background in there to flash that pink. So what we're gonna do is delete that and just pick a, let me see actually, where can I pick up a good color picker? Well, I can just inspect it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just pick a random thing. And then I'm going to find this somewhere with color. Doesn't really matter, just go tab color. And then chocolate, sure, chocolate sounds great. Of course, I didn't apply it. Chocolate, choco, come on. There we go. Because then when you click on the little icon, you can go source a color. So let's go source like the color that's similar to that cerulean. We'll copy that one. And now I'm gonna add a background color of that. Check it, check it. Check it. Save it. Get out of inspector. Hopefully this saves and doesn't poop on me. Wouldn't be a surprise. All right, this thing finally updated. And that is how I would go about playing with that stuff. So now we got this sweet kind of background. Let me just see. We got a small device. It doesn't really scroll amazingly smooth, but there we go. It's a little bit better. Cool. I think that works, you know? So now what I can do is, the whole reason why I was doing this was so that we could then Apple Shift B. Let's get rid of that. And then let's go Command Apple D. We'll full screen it. And then I get to close that. And let's just see how much more real estate I get. This is a fair bit, which I like. So let's uncheck some of these. There we go. We'll say that we'll uncheck those. Obviously I have to go padding in there, so I'll play with that later, but I just really want the screenshot. So then we grab the screenshot, and now we get to go in Photoshop. So this is our module. We've saved that. Save it again. Apple tilde. Kitty. Are you not pooping over there? We got a brand new cat, and she's adorable. Now she's running around awake. So let's get rid of that module one because I don't like it. Now we're gonna actually paste in a new one. So let's just group this for right now. BG, background, hit that, mask, delete, layer mask, paste in. Oh, we gotta move our screenshot. So I'm gonna go move that screenshot. So I took a screenshot of that and moved it around to my new screenshots folder, which I've named it for this version of Anpathology. And now I can place it in here, and then Command T. We're gonna bring it down a notch until my little bar goes away. I'm fine if those are still pink over there because we'll change that style later. So we do one, sounds great. Anpathology, whatever, looks awesome. Empath nervous system. Something that I wanted to potentially do is get a little bit of insects. It feels a little blocky, or we need to have some type of light gradient. So we see these bar lines right there. What I'm gonna do is what that looks like is we need to do a gradient. So we can do a couple ways of painting in the gradient or creating a gradient layer on top of it. So let's do the MacBook first. And we're not going to do on that part. I guess we could do on all of it. So we're going to do a gradient. And then we're going to do it at an angle, which is roughly that same, try to get the line perpendicular to that line. So roughly-ish there. And then I'm just going to reset it. And I'm going to move this in. And then we're going to option click to drag it, which was supposed to give me my buddy, and I'm just gonna do a new one, and then that one gets to be 100, but this one gets to be back to 0. And now I'm going to put another one right here, and I'm gonna drag. Actually, that can be just fine. I can do this pretty hardcore with that, and then do that one at 0. And I wish I could zoom in a bit more. Looks like that's what that's gonna be. Cool. And then this one we can take and we can actually get a new one, and we'll shrink that up, and we'll just say this is gonna be Glossy Screen. And we'll say new. Sounds great. Glossy Screen's up there. I'll say okay, and then just kind of tweak it until I reach it. I say okay. For some reason I have to double click back in to be able to move it. I don't know what's up with that. Adobe, can you please fix that too? Obviously that line does not match that line down there for what's going on. So yeah, basic. We're gonna move you back. The joy of working with other people's designs. Maybe that is a straight line. Maybe I'm basic. Definitely tired. Okay, great. Apologies, designer. I was the one who was wrong. Yeah, basic. I love my wife. We have so much fun. So then I just float over it until I find something that looks pretty close, which is kind of like the soft lot. Now we can take that and let's drop it to like a 33. Oh yeah! Let's just shrink it down a little bit more. Oh, I like it. So then I would come in here and actually, let's make that more of a dark. Ooh la la. Okay, and then let's take this and make it more of a dark. Say okay, and we're just gonna add that as a new one. Sounds cool. You're fighting. It's so cute when cats walk on their sides. So adorable. So now we got the gradient, and this is going to be Glossy Gradient, and we can really, depending on, I mean, everything's at the same semi-angle. Let's just convert to a smart object. So then I'm gonna put it on the iPad. And the iPad is going to, of course, now I'm gonna have to make this a group. Then I throw on the mask, and I put it beneath the pad, and I open it. And then we delete this layer mask, and I grab the Glossy Gradient, and I just move it around. Okay, and then let's J. I could have probably done a better job with it, but let's just see what we got going on. It's looking pretty, like, for not being too nitpicky about it. We've got all of our little slices, the empath nervous system. Excellent. Now this is where I might go down to here. I think I like, where is this? Okay, I was looking at the wrong spot. There you go. So I'm gonna take this. Actually, I'm gonna do this and then take those three and then kick it to the center. Cool. Now we're centered to that. But now I want to do that, and now I'm going to put in a new. I'm going to duplicate that, and that's going to become one. Now this is where I want to use Quentin. Regular, no caps. Turn it to the peach. I'm gonna do that. It's like a lot of text. Super busy. Let's just delete that. Not gonna happen. So this is the title bar. Now we're gonna make that into a smart object also because I'm gonna use it in other places. And this, I do want a drop shadow, and we're going to make that these grays, and it's gonna be multiply. Hey, good job going potty. Man, this cast is amazing. I stole her from her mom. Sorry. I had to. So there we go. Okay, and then what I want to do, which I was gonna show you on this part now, is do an inner glow, an inner shadow actually. So we throw an inner shadow. On that inner shadow, the distance doesn't have to be as crazy, and this choke and size does not have to be as crazy. Just trying to get a little bit of that feeling of less than, like, we're, you know, like, let's just look at it. This feels so much better, and the distance can come down a little bit. There we go. And then we're gonna apply that same style on all of it. Sometimes like anti-aliasing it, though I don't know how much that really matters, but we'll say sure. So then I can copy that layer style, and then I'm gonna come down to, so let's just name them all the same so that we know what we're dealing with. As someone who's messed with Photoshop documents, it's so much better to do this when you come back to it months later and you're like, how the hell did I build this thing? So you paste that, and then we just scroll up into the other one. So we're going to BG title. Oh, your poop stinks. You stinky kitty. You stinky pussy. I like shrinking. Oh my god, that is ferocious, cat. Jeez Louise. You're very thankful you don't have Smellovision here. That is not cool. Oh, oof. Well, that's. Can you just come over and check out this, even though you have a stinky poo with you?
Oh, it's beauteous.
Isn't that awesome? You're welcome. So then, of course, she's way over there. She's fine. And the next thing we're gonna do, I wonder if we do that, and then I'm thinking if I can do. Oh, cat! Damn, that was stinks. Oh. Ah! Open a window. Crack some doors. This is bad. Let's get back that title bar. Woo! Yeah, you run around all happy you got that out. She's fierce. All right, now since we don't have that background, right, how we're playing around with it, I think we can play around with how we laid this nervous system graphic in, because, whoa, 100. Don't do that. I was just trying to nudge your, okay, let's just escape. Nervous system, I don't know, we have to make it like ugly nerves. So, what do you do, ugly nerves? Past nervous system. I'd feel great to get that out of my nose. It's horrible. It's disgusting. So we're gonna. I'm gonna show you a trick. So we got this right. Let's Command Shift Option add the inner of our MacBook. Notice how I have our like horizontal line. So we got that set up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new solid color of our background, and it doesn't matter what color you make it. You can make it puke green. Sounds great. And this is the MacBook drop shadow. And what we're gonna do with this, and we're gonna convert this to a smart object. Say, Phil, you go bye-bye. Yes, you, Phil. You don't belong, Phil. Boundaries, Denny. And now we get to do this cool thing, which is a drop shadow. Oh, look at that drop shadow. Oh, it makes me so happy. So I'm gonna do it from over here. So we kind of project onto our beast over there. And the fun part, watch this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna distance it. And we're gonna way drop down that opacity. Oh yeah, we're gonna kind of like do like a 65. I'm being too nitpicky. Okay, great. Excellent. Now, this is what we get to do on this, is we get to copy this. We're gonna group it. And what I wanna do, actually I don't even have to group it. We're gonna take the iMac is what we're gonna grab. We're gonna go iMac-y, and then I'm gonna add the fill of that, and then I'm gonna invert it, and then I don't know if I actually needed to invert it, but on the MacBook DS, we're gonna drop it, and I'm gonna invert it there. Okay, so what is going on? I think that's just a... So that was just some weird artifact, because when I hit it and unhit it, it came back. But the cool thing is now let's pretend like we have a white background, right? This way we can see how it's going to look on things. And even with this white background, let's say we're going to have some graphic document where we're going to have a peach background and then apple shift white, fill that one. Whoa, what is going on? There's something funky with Photoshop, because weird. So now we got that drop shadow, so we just basically have to do the same thing for the iPad, which is the other foreground element. And so now we go to the iPad and we select the whole iPad and then add that fill, and then we're going to do a whole new solid color, and that solid color can be whatever, denim, faded violet, whatever. And this is going to be iPad drop shadow. Oh, what? Yeah, you stink. You want someone to play with you. I want to play with you. Your poop stinks. You're right. You don't stink. You're pretty. Oh, you want to climb up here and bite my chin like you always like to do? Oh, this is a good hood. This is the hood that you like. There you go. I have a cat crawling into my hood right now who's going to sleep, hopefully. Or after she chews on my hair. You better sleep, lady. Not my ear, not my ear, not my bun. Okay, so we have the drop shadow. So then we, of course, do what we always do, which is make our smart object. We're going to drop our fill. And then I'm going to copy this MacBook drop shadow, copy the layer style, and I'll paste it on this. But this time, instead of the angle we went with, I'm going to pull it. I'm going to kind of come over and just say like we're at 105 or whatever. So we're going that direction, and of course I have to hide on hide because we're getting some weird, funky things with that. And I have no idea why it's not showing. Oh, because the iPad is below the iMac? What the hell is going on? Oh, duh, because we put the iPad shadow, not on the iPad. There we go. And we want to come out. There we go. Just want to nest it the right way. So that's nested. Now we grab, again, the MacBook DS, drop it, and voila. Voila. We have made a badass, making people excited about joining our course graphic. And then I hide it. And now I have basically everything, and all I'm going to be doing is duplicating smart objects. I'm going to be relinking those files then within those smart objects, screenshotting, coming up with my new, like what my base background is going to be for this next module, then going on the website, pasting in the background, and so on and so forth until I create all 6 modules. If you really like this, please share it, comment, let me know what I could do better. If anyone knows a shortcut to making a mask, let me know. I could Google it. I know, I'm just being lazy right now. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.